UCLA at Utah. This was our one game where we really faded each other, both winner and spread. And CD did cash there. Obviously, he took Utah minus 4.5. I took UCLA plus 4.5, and I took their money line. Both of those were on Dawson Steiner, did not hit. But guess what? If these teams played again next week, I would take the same thing. I'll take money line and I'll take the points. Dante Moore, he's incredibly athletic, and I thought that would overcome some of the differences that they would have rushing the passer, right? What Utah did, they had 6 guys on the line of scrimmage at all times on defense, and you didn't know which one was going. And Dante Moore just doesn't have the tool set available to him, the knowledge to know how to protect himself. I mean, his stat line was 10 rushes for 51 yards, and I'm pretty sure like 8 of those were sacks. 8 of those rushing attempts were sacks.
Negative Utah defense. 51, by the way.
Negative. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Negative 51. This Utah defense, though, is legit. They're 4-0 right now, and Cam Rising has not stepped on the field. And they've played Florida, Baylor on the road, and UCLA. What are we talking about here? This Utah team is awesome. This defense is flying around. Reed is probably in a lot of people's eyes Pac-12 Player of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year right now. Had that pick six basically on that first play. Dante Moore to that nasty pick six. That ended up being the difference in the game, right? Utah on offense did not do anything special at all. UCLA's defense was really good. They held Utah's running backs to 3 yards a carry. And guess what? UCLA's running backs, they had 2.7 yards per carry. So it's not like both teams couldn't run the ball, but I'm saying like it's not like Utah did a whole lot on offense to warrant deserving to win this game, right? I still think Dante Moore played with a ton of heart. It's easy to say that about a true freshman, but he was out there slinging the fourth quarter after having just getting rocked all game, not knowing what he's looking at on the defensive side of the ball, just throwing that pick six early. He battled, man. He battled, and I'm so high on this kid for the future. I'm so high. Just can't let this break his confidence, because I thought he was still out there slinging the rock, making that big fourth down, that 4th and like 17 or whatever, where he just escapes out of the pocket somehow and slings it down the field, rolling to his left. That was awesome. Set up a scoring drive that actually gave him a chance to potentially win the game. But of course, Utah's defense was just too much.
Yeah, I'll say it should have been 14-0. And I'll, because I do think that that last touchdown there by UCLA, it's not garbage time by any means, but it was a 4th and 23, whatever. Like, that was kind of a really good play made by the tight end. And obviously Dante Moore. I agree with everything you just said, except for the fact that if they played again next week, it'd be a different outcome. Because, like you said, I mean, Dante Moore is still going to be a freshman next week. And that's why I'm a little bit nervous going forward for UCLA. Because you saw the blueprint. The blueprint was they got a bunch of transfers on the O-line. Let's stop the run and let's blitz the heck out of Dante Moore. And not that he's unathletic enough, not athletic enough to actually maneuver the pocket. It's more about the pocket presence and the pocket awareness and knowing who's coming, who's not, who's your hot reads, right? And obviously Utah, a veteran defensive coordinator like there is, the broadcast kept bringing up continuity, which is something UCLA's offense doesn't have. Transfer wide receivers, transfer running back, freshman quarterback, new O-line, right? Transfer O-line.
All of which are better than anything that Utah has in offense, by the way, just to let you know.
Except Jaquin Jackson, who I think got hurt in that game. And obviously, he only got 6 carries.
But it's Carson Steele. Really Carson Steele is also a very good running back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But Jackson's got game breaker, tendencies. And obviously when Cam Rising gets back, it'll look different offensively for Utah. But it didn't have to today. And I just hope, like you said, I hope Dante Moore's confidence isn't broken. And I don't think you do break, a 5-star true freshman's. Like, Dante Moore obviously is a gamer. Like you said, his confidence won't be broken, but some of the habits that he learned and some of the stuff that he had to deal with in Utah, might carry in the next week and the week after. So hopefully that the coach staff can get after them and make sure it's okay. I still thought UCLA is a pretty good team, right? Latu, obviously really good. The D-line played very good for UCLA. Like you said, neither team moved the ball great. I thought Nate Johnson, he is what he is. Or he's a really good athlete.
That's it.
He did enough. At times, he made some big-time throws, maybe like 2 all game, but that didn't be enough. That pick six on the first play changed the whole game. I agree with you on that front in terms of UCLA chasing 7 points the whole game is a lot different than a 0-0 game.
14. They were chasing 14. But I
Yeah,
think like
I guess so. Yeah.
well, also
So,
UCLA
yeah.
they had a bad fumble. I was again Dante Moore, bad fumble in the red zone there too, with an actual chance to score late in the game or in the second half there too. So I just like again a couple plays away from UCLA like winning this ball game. And I think if you Dante Moore got into another ball game with these guys, granted with Nate Johnson at quarterback, I think Dante Moore would just know how to protect himself. He's going to know how to slide the offensive line. He's going to have running backs in the backfield. I think Chip Kelly kind of let him down a little bit.
Yeah. Now I'll say for Utah, their schedule is brutal. You mentioned it in the opening here. It doesn't get easier, right? You go at Oregon State next week, who lost to Washington State, whatever. Washington State's a wagon right now. Oregon State going into, Corvallis, right? That's going to be tough. And you're probably going to be without Cam Rising again. I assume they're probably going to wait for the bye week to bring him back, which makes a lot of sense. But if you can win that game somehow, some way, like you've won the last, 4 games you've played, that is crazy impressive. And you get a healthy Cam Rising. You get USC, you get Oregon, Washington, and then even Colorado at the end there. Utah, it doesn't get easier, but it just, you can't bet against Kyle Whittingham. And I'm going to learn. I got to remember that the rest of the year. As for UCLA, how do you feel about UCLA going the rest of the way?
I still feel really good. Their defense showed up again, like they have been all year. And Dante Moore, we just keep seeing flashes, right? And I think UCLA will be able to run the ball on teams not named Utah.
Yes.